figure out how we're going to start because I need to know that. Start laying down with your knees into your chest. Make sure my phone's muted. Oh my God. All right, everyone. So bring your knees in. Close your eyes. Lovely. And as you lay back, just let your back settle and broaden and lengthen into the mat. So let your shoulder blades move down, and as you do, you'll feel the chest open a little bit. Just broaden across the tops of the shoulders. Take a few breaths through your nose. Okay, not using it, I'll just get everyone there. And you may notice as you hug the knees in that your sacrum curls up and off the mat. Draw it down. And consciously center yourself via breathing. Ground yourself into the physical body via breathing. Let your head be heavy, the muscles of your face soft. And some of you might be thinking, come on, get on with it. But this is an act of patience, of concentration, of softening into whatever the moment brings to you so that you can receive. Take your knees to the right. Stretch your left shoulder blade left. You'll start to feel a release down the left side of the body, through the left bicep, the shoulder, the left side of the chest, down into the left waist, hip, and some of you may be across the left IT band. And then make sure that you're not trying to force yourself into the stretch, relax. Hold yourself in the physical shape. Breathe deeply and your body will begin to mold and change. Concentrate on your breathing. Allow the music and your environment to uplift you. So if ever we practice with injuries, with physical injuries, obviously more care is needed and sometimes there's pain in the body with injuries. Sometimes we practice with sickness. And of course, again, more gentleness and more care is needed in order to do so. Sometimes it could be that we have a condition or it could be emotional discomfort or negative thoughts, which has been a very common problem with some while we've been undistracted from our demons and our shadows. And so in order to be uplifted by our environment, sometimes it needs to draw out of you the toxic stuff that is there. And that's when the practice can be a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit edgy, really challenging to stay in. And I highly encourage you to embrace that moment, to allow the withdrawal of anything that's holding you back. It's just like when we detox from something, when we detox from coffee, caffeine or sugar, we could get a headache or we could feel a little bit nauseous, but we have to ride that wave. So too can the yoga practice detox us from toxic thinking, toxic behavior, physical injuries, chronic tightness. Okay, and you probably know, I think I do this stretch in every class. It's so simple, but it's so delicious. The variations would be to straighten the top leg, hold on to the foot, or draw the lower leg back and hold on to the foot. You could do one or both. Relax the weight of the head, relax the shoulders, relax the muscles of the face, and continue to breathe and feel. And very gently release to your neutral pose with your legs long, your palms up. Observing everything that is inhabiting your existence, your body. Bring your knees into your chest. Inhale. Take your knees left and stretch your right arm right. Exhale. So when we, as you know, and this is just complete common knowledge now, that the body and mind are connected. They're not even connected. They're just different forms of the same thing. I've taught this for many years. I've known it for many years, but the more I practice yoga, the more I understand it, and the more that holds greater meaning to me. So when but probably most yoga teachers or many yoga teachers talk about the body, we are referring to all of the aspects that make up the body, which includes mind, emotion, memory, and thoughts of the future. And almost always, not always, but almost always, when we are projecting forward into the future, it is a reflection of what we are still holding on to from the past. So if we can get into a state of meditation, and Yin is a wonderful opportunity to do that, we can start to come into the present moment where we can release any of the past that is holding back and stop projecting that forward into the future. And that's how we create a brand new self. That's how we change our bodies. That's how we change our lives. If change is what you're seeking. Not all of us are seeking change. Right, back into the stretch. So you'll feel the stretch all the way down the right side of the body. One part of you will be feeling it more than others. If it's your shoulder, that's where you're tight. If it's the right side of the sacrum, that's where you're tight. Okay, and just breathe into that. Remember your variation, take it whenever you feel a completion of the twist. For me, a completion is when I lose interest. I don't care if I'm getting praised for something. I don't care if I'm being berated for something. I lose interest, and then it's time to move on. Make sure that you're not gripping or tensing the hands or shoulders in order to hold your body in this shape. Hold your body firmly in the shape, but let everything be relaxed. Stay focused on what you feel physically, on what you're thinking, and what you're feeling emotionally, and know that one will be stronger. That is what is significant for you. That is where the transformation occurs for you. A few more moments. And slowly release. Come to your neutral pose. Let your body be heavy and feel like your bones are settling down into the floor. Stretch the arms overhead. Giant big stretch. And then you're just going to roll over to your front. So you can just roll over for ease like this, but if you need to be near the screen, you're going to spin around. Getting into these shoulders. Actually, before we do the shoulders, let's do something a little bit more gentle. This is super gentle, but I would imagine most of you will feel it in some way. You're going to bring your right knee up. I'll just bring this one up, okay? You're going to turn your body towards that knee and then lay your cheek down as you gaze in the direction of the foot. So this is going to open up a little bit into this left arm, and a little bit into the right inner thigh. And as you turn your head to one side, you may get a bit of a stretch in the neck as well. This is more in the restorative family of poses. The restorative poses hold a lot less sensation, a lot less challenge, and they allow us this opportunity to rest deeply. So when we physically rest, our minds are often occupied, dull, overthinking. This is a time to be really still in the body and to use some discipline and focus to give your mind a break as well by focusing on your breath. And there'll be some gentle sensation to help open the body as well. Notice if you're holding any tension and let your body be heavy. We won't be here for too much longer. Get as heavy as you can, dropping down into the floor. As you come to your neutral pose, you do bring your forehead to your hands and lay on your front. Other side. Slide the left knee up. Curve your body towards that knee. Take your right cheek to the floor and gaze in the direction of the left foot. These final moments get a little bit heavier. Breathe into any subtle sensation of the body. The more we go in, the more connected to ourselves we become. And when we are aware of nuance and subtlety, we can make really positive changes before we get sick, before we get injured, before we have chronic disease or crisis in our life. We become aware of the whispers before these occurrences become shouts. So a few more breaths. Slowly come back to center, come to your neutral pose, forehead on the backs of the hands. Sometimes I need to roll my head from side to side just to release the neck, to ensure that the head is heavy. A few more moments here. And then lift your head up just long enough to bring the right elbow on top of the left. Tuck those elbows underneath, cross the arms as far as they will go, and then slowly release the head down. For many of us, or most of us, the chin kind of settles down onto the triceps. You can use something, if you prefer, to support the forehead. It really does just depend. Stretching into the shoulders. If you don't feel it, bring the elbows further underneath you. And then the focus here is on getting heavy and allowing gravity to pull you in. Just again, attune. You might be holding on or holding back. Get heavier, get more relaxed, and feel your body drop. You may feel the pose more, you may feel the sensation more, and you really just go in as deep as what you can feel without pain. I always refer to pain versus discomfort. We do not inflict pain upon ourselves, but we do allow ourselves these times of discomfort in order for change and growth, greater flexibility. Lift your head up, release the arms, use the hands as a pillow for the forehead and relax. Other side. Left elbow on top now. Which one did I do? And drop down. Check in with these final moments that you are as deep as you can go, that you are moving into a greater state of clarity in the mind through focus, observation. Another word for meditation, one of my favorite things to do. And that you are as heavy and as passive in the pose as you can be. And remember that being heavy and passive in yin is more important. So if that hurts, because sometimes it does hurt to completely relax into a pose, you use props. And the props allow the body that chance to relax deeply without pain. Okay, so the props allow the body to relax deeply without pain. And then slowly release. Make a pillow with your hands and come to neutral pose. Okay, the next one here is Sphinx pose. So you're going to come up onto your forearms. We've got a few variations here. This one I actually never really do in yin, I always forget, but there is an option if you've got a bolster to bring your chest to the bolster and your hands over it, and this allows you a chance to be really, really relaxed. Okay, otherwise we just use our forearms. And for me, I just really hardly feel anything at all. Sometimes a little wiggle in the hips can help to release a little bit. And this one I find is a difficult one, again, because we're sort of moving against the force of gravity. So this key aspect of yin of being really passive and really heavy is a little bit more difficult when we're trying to lift up. So if you're a little bit more flexible, you can come up onto the hands. The arms can be straight as long as you feel like you're not forcing the vertebrae down into the one beneath it. Okay, so a lot of the time those elbows are sort of a little bit like springs. A little bit of suspension there, okay? Otherwise down on the forearms. If elbows under shoulders is too much, bring the hands further forward. So we're just curving the spine as much as it will go. I'm pretty flexible. You can come as high as you like. You want to feel that release. You also in this can sink the shoulders up. Whatever feels good for you. Breathe balance into your body. Meditation, concentration. You've got a physical awareness, an emotional awareness, and a thought process awareness. And one of those is going to be louder, stronger, more in the forefront of your awareness than the other. In asana, for the most part, that's going to be the body. That is where your opportunity for growth is. A few more breaths here. Keep the butt relaxed. Slowly come down to your neutral pose. Make a pillow with the hands to the forehead. Now we're going to come up. So lift up and come back to child's pose. Bring your big toes close, your knees wide, hips to heels. For most of you, those hips won't touch the heels, and forehead down. Ooh. You may feel a little contrast there. Again, in this one, I sometimes wash my hips a little bit from side to side to find that release. Slowly lift up. Bring your right foot forward, coming into a lunge. So this one is going to be felt for some of us in both legs, in the front leg as well as the back leg, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to hold on to the back foot as well. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can do this one. Sometimes I like to lift up, like I feel quite a lot here, both in my right leg, and then I start to feel it in the front of this left leg. Okay, or you may like to come down onto the forearms. Ooh, I feel that really deeply in my right leg. You could keep the hips square if the body is really calling you to stimulate the front leg, or you could open up and take right hand to left foot, stretching into that leg. Use your props if you need. adjusting as the body adjusts. So it will release, and then you may find that you're not feeling the pose and it's not anchoring you as much. So then you want to go deeper. So I'm just removing props to support me as I come closer to the floor. Slowly come up. And we're going to release just in a seated pose for this one, just to feel the neutral body. Relax the shoulders, you might feel tension drain. And then we go into the other side with the left foot forward. So moving through the phases, you would have figured it out by now, you would have noticed, but yin is held for 3 to 5 minutes. So you've got time to move through exploring, maybe opening the front of the body. I feel that deeply in my back leg. And having the hips square. Or coming into the quad stretch. Ooh, ah. It is full on. Okay, you're going to release. Now, this is a shorter scheduled class today. It's a 45-minute class. I haven't always gone by that, but today I will, because some people have liked the shorter ones. So you're going to go to either Shavasana, laying on your back, or just come to meditation for the final moments of class. I'm going to give you the option. Shavasana is total surrender. It is a complete integration of everything that has occurred in class. Meditation is slightly more alert. It's a little bit more concentrated. So choose which one you want. Lay back and relax, or sit tall and easy and concentrate gently on what is there inside of you. And start to come back. Start to return into the body and awareness of where you are, where you occupy, the space that you occupy in the room. You might feel like taking a stretch. And if you're laying down, roll over. Or come up. And sit. Sit in gratitude. I think this is the most vital daily practice that we could take. It brings us into the here and now, which is the most powerful place. Again, something I've taught for many years, almost 2 decades, but something that I understand and embody the more I practice it. Grateful for our bodies, grateful for our families, our friends, grateful for this world that we live in, this country that we live in. Whether we agree with things or not, grateful to be alive. Anything else that you can be grateful for? Bring your palms together in front of the heart center in this sacred recognition of the unity within all, occurring more deeply with our acknowledgement. From my deep heart space to yours, I bow. Namaste. Thanks, team.
Thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed. I forgot to mention that I was actually going to go by the scheduled class length today. So if you were expecting an hour, it was actually only scheduled for 45 minutes. Some people do like those shorter ones while they're at home. So remember, tomorrow is level 2 with Sarah. She is such a great teacher that even if you are not level 2 inclined, give it a go. Do what you can do. There'll always be modifications. She's one of my favorite teachers. I know she's some of your guys' favorite teachers. Highly recommend her. I won't be doing it as much as I'd love to. No yoga for me tomorrow.
Enjoy your day.
I will. Have an awesome afternoon. Thanks, Olga. Thanks, David.
Bye.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Denise.
So much, everyone. Enjoy your afternoon.
Thanks,
Everyone's like,
Bye.
Jane. Oh, I was going to meet you, Jane, and I forgot. Damn it. Oh well, next time.
But the other day, it was lovely. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye, Simon. Bye, Sue. Have a beautiful afternoon. I'm doing my Duolingo, right?